Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you to all my sentient beings? Hey, I bid you an adieu. I need one thing from you. Come up on frequency this morning. Come up on frequency. Come up in frequency. Let's have a talk in the frequency of being a child of God. Let's walk together in the frequency as a child of God. Come on, let's sing together. Hey, there's a joy, there's a song in your heart. Sing that song. I got the joy, joy, joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to say. Why? Because I'm so happy, so very happy because I've got the love in my heart. I got the love of Christ consciousness in my heart. And that is the frequency that I'm operating on today. Woo! That hit me this morning and then I had to post it. Well, what is it? It's Freedom Friday. So welcome to Freedom Friday. I pray that all is well with you. Even if it don't look like it, all is well with you. Jesus told the lady, she said, but Lord, how can you say? She said, it shall be well with you. Didn't say, let's think about it, whether or not it's well. Let's look at it. No, it shall be well. Well, how does it be well? I got to change my frequency. I got to change how I think I am. I have to change my belief. I have to change my acceptance. I have to change the way my perception and my perspective of myself to understand that when I operate in a certain frequency, I'll never forget who and whose I am. Come on in here this morning. Lord. So how do we lift our frequency? How do we raise our vibration? With a praise. So you got 10 seconds, you got 5 seconds, you got 4 seconds. I don't care how long it takes you. But once you begin to say, Lord, thank you, you can go off and run on. And I need you to, do me a favor. I need you to put the little legs in there as you're running or some kind of tambourine or a clap or a shout. Put it in the comments, glory. But I need you to show that you, in your 10 seconds, that you had an encounter with the divine. You had an encounter with Abba. You had an encounter with your divine parent. You had an encounter with Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, which is within each and every one of us. When we hear that, thy will be done on earth, we realize we are the earth that it has to be done in. And the heaven is in our hearts. And that is where the love resides in us. Honey, you already know what Freedom Friday is about. I posted it at 6 o'clock. Freedom Friday, you are free to be in the frequency of a child of God. And how did it all start? It started because, of course, I was reading my Ernest Holmes. And in Ernest Holmes, it pretty much says that it's going from the First Corinthians because it opens up with, daily I contemplate my importance in a divine plan. Ooh, Lord, how important are you to the plan of God? Ooh-wee. How important are you in God's plan? Let's ask yourself that question today. That's a question to meditate on for the rest of the weekend, all the way up until the next Friday. How important are you to the plan of God? Well, let's find out. It says, for we are laborers together with the Father. You are the Father's field, and you are the Father's building. You are the mother's field. You are the mother's building. God is spirit, and we must worship God in spirit and truth. And so we understand that God is a frequency. You are now operating is that portion of what God is trying to do. It says you are both the field and you are both the building and you are both the field. Where can you find that? 1 Corinthians 3 and 9. He says, well, what? How am I the field and how am I the building? Well, go back and look at Genesis 1 and 27. He says, so God created human beings in his own image. You are a son. You are a daughter. Don't ever forget that. You've got to vibrate on that frequency. He says, okay, well, what does that look like? Let's look at it this way. It says, God has no body, no physical body. Instead, we are a reflection of God's glory. Some feel that the image of God can be found in one or more of the uniquely human capacities for reason, creativity, speech, or self-determination. More likely, the image of God is something that describes our entire being as humans, not just one aspect. God made humans to be in a special relationship, to reign over creation as his ambassadors and administrators on earth. Us. So we ought to reflect his character in our love, patience, forgiveness, kindness, and faithfulness. That's how you know you are a child. That's how you know you are a part of the plan. How do you know you're part of the plan? Because you've been given an image that matches exactly where you came from. So that means you're not a part of your circumstance? No. Does that mean that you are a part of the things, the chaos that's going on? No. That's not who you are. Who you are is a child of the Most High. And your image and your likeness that you've been created in is a direct reflection of where you came from. So when I say to you, come up on frequency, that means that we can no longer operate in circumstance. We can no longer operate in situation. We have to now get on the frequency of where we came from, the source of our strength, where love resides, where joy resides, where kindness resides, where peace resides. And so now, when I look at the results of something, I realize that I must not have been in the frequency I should have been, because now I see the results different than a child would see them. Ooh. And you know how you feel when you a stepchild? When you feel like you a stepchild, or you feel like you don't belong, or you feel like you're outside, we begin to see the results of those things that make us look like we don't belong. Not so. Can I tell you, you are never not a child of God. You are always and will forever remain the perfect expression of the divine parent. Let's look a little bit more at what Ernest is talking about. If we're talking about frequencies, then that means our thoughts, what we know, how we approach things, what we believe, it all has to operate as a child of God frequency. And then we have to be open. Not only do we have to be open, then we have to be glad. Well, what are you saying now? Now my thought process has to reflect it. The way I walk has to reflect my child of God. The way I talk has to reflect it. I must use adjectives and verbs and I have to be even the nouns and pronouns of the thing that of the very source of my being, which is love, which is peace, which is joy, which is kindness. Yeah. Those are the things, those are the images, those are the things that I reflect. And when anything else outside of that comes up, when the enemy tries to tell me that I'm a part of my circumstance, I have to step back and say, no. Take a step back, take a deep breath and say, wait a minute. I'm a child of the King. I'm a child of the Most High. I have a divine parent that has everything. And whatever I need, I know it can be supplied. So come on with me today. Let's meditate on this. These things right here. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Release. Take a deep breath one more time. Come on and say this. My thoughts is a gateway to the illumination of my child, that I'm a child of God. One more time. My thoughts are the gateway to the illumination that I am and will forever be a child of God. Come on with me on this. I believe in myself because I first believe in God. I believe in my destiny because I believe that the law of good is operating through me. And I have a claim. I have a claim to it. Not only do I have a claim, but I have a calm confidence in my future and a keen, enthusiastic expectation of good things. I can't expect anything else as a child. I don't want anything else. You know why? Because anything else does not operate under the frequency of good, of love, of trust, of joy, and of kindness. Now, I open my whole consciousness to the realization that all power and presence, everything that surrounds me, is the internal. I'm supposed to embrace that. And that the Spirit forever imparts itself into my life. Can I tell you, sentient beings, you are never not a part of God. You are never not a part of divine spirit. Honey, I can't drive this home no more than I'm driving it home right now. You are always going to be a child. I'm just asking that you operate in that frequency. And here it is. Knowing that I cannot live unto myself by myself, but that I am a part of all of life, I gladly and enthusiastically unify with people, conditions, events, flowing into them with the certain knowledge that I belong to the universe that is divine and loving, in which I live, and that this divine parent belongs to me, and that I am a part of it, necessary to it, and one with it. Remember the question I asked you at the very beginning? How important are you to God's divine plan? Here is your answer. You belong to God. Therefore, you are a part of the plan. You are necessary to the plan, and you are one with that plan. All right. Come up on frequency with me. And when you feel low, just go to that Genesis chapter 1 where he says, I've given you the power to rule and reign and multiply and subdue everything that comes up against you. But you are here to multiply it. You are here to reign over it. That is your job as a son, as a daughter, as a child of God. Don't forget that, y'all. It's Freedom Friday. And don't forget, throughout your day, come up on frequency.